We're very fortunate on this morning of all mornings to bring in our chief Washington correspondent, Major Garrett, to help us understand what's going on Capitol Hill. Major, good morning to you.
Good morning.
The president for months stirred doubt and anger over a supposedly stolen election. He whipped up his supporters to fight like hell, storm the Capitol, and now he's condemning violence. What's his calculation here?
His calculation, quite simply, Tony, is to try to preserve what remains of his legacy as president so it's not incinerated before the public's eyes by a second round of violence perpetrated by his own supporters. Mayhem, vandalism, and violence. The president said he's been briefed. This city is completely on edge, more so than any inauguration or preparations for inauguration I've covered since 1993. The sense of threat is very real, not just in this nation's capital, but in capitals around the country. And that's because of what you said. The president has stirred up and continued to incite for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. And he has got to try to find some way to get control over that if he can. And if he doesn't, all of the blame will be on him and his supporters and, by extension, the Republican Party. And Republican leaders in Washington are imploring the president, do whatever you can to tamp this down, if you can. And that's where we are.
So let's talk about those leaders in the Senate. The president has been impeached. It would now take 17 senators in the Senate to convict and remove him from office or censor him, since he'll already be gone. Are there 17 senators who could do that? And Mitch McConnell has said he'll consider it. Where do you think he'll come down? 17
Republican senators on top of the 50 Democrats
Correct.
would be assumed to vote for removal from office. But as you said, he would be out of office. This is all about the things that you would hold after being president. And could you ever run again? Those are real threats to Donald Trump and former President Trump, which he will soon be. And all of this, I'm told, Tony, is about the Majority Leader Mitch McConnell signaling to the president, this is a live option. This is a real threat to you. And your post-presidency could be severely limited, not only in whether you could run again, but all the emoluments that come with it, all the benefits you get as a former president if you don't stay within the guardrails in the remaining time you have in the White House and do everything you can to prevent a second round of violence. This is the Majority Leader's way of saying to the president, I haven't made up my mind. This is a live thing for you, and you better take it seriously. And I know that Republican leaders will take every single utterance they can get from this president, video or otherwise, to try to tamp this down.
Major, a lot of people are expecting the Biden administration to come in with Congress in their control and pass things to help the American people. How does impeachment upset that agenda?
Impeachment is real. It's an institutional response to an attack on Congress by the executive branch. Joe Biden knows that as an institution, Congress cannot ignore that attack. It had to do something. Impeachment was the remedy chosen by House Democrats. The Senate will have to have a trial. What he can hope for is that the Senate can walk and chew gum at the same time, do two things at once, confirm his cabinet appointees, start considering legislation, and conduct the impeachment trial. Let's be honest, the impeachment trial is not that heavy a lift. Everyone saw what happened. Everyone can make a judgment about what the president said and how that related to the violence that occurred at the U.S. Capitol. It's not a complicated case. It won't take that much time. Incoming Biden administration knows that, knows it has to be done, and knows it also has important work for the country to deal with. But it will start in the House, and once it gets to the Senate, the Biden administration will push the Senate to do two things at once: do the trial and do the legislation and the confirmations.
We'll see if they can do it. Major, thank you very much.
Sure.
Just exhausted by it all. Thank you very much, Major.